Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Part 2. Question about group 7. Group 7 or halogens. Halo in Latin to English means salt. Gen means to form, like oxygen, like nitrogen, like hydrogen. Anything ending with gen means to form. For example, oxygen means rust former, hydrogen means water former, and so on. So halogens are salt formers. Why? Because they react with metals to form salts like table salt, NaCl. Similar to group 1, which we have just briefly described, group 7 have their own properties. But here we have low reactivity down the group. So here if you go down, reactivity decreases. On the other hand, for group 1 or group 2, if you go down, reactivity increases, as we said in question 20. So question here. Now we have some elements from group 7, chlorine, bromine, iodine. Let me just write some elements which are found as diatomics. H2, N2, O2, F2, chlorine, bromine, and iodine. These are the seven sisters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, are found as diatomics. This is very helpful. Why? And many questions in paper 2, mainly, they ask you about noble gases. Noble gases are not diatomics, never. They are monoatomics, okay? That will help you. These are the diatomics. Back to question 21. Which statement is correct? The color gets lighter. Wrong. Color gets darker. Feature property. If you go down, color to be darker. Melting, boiling points increase. Okay, both melting and boiling point increase. Why? Uh, this will be explained later on when we go in details, inshallah, in each group, like group 1, group 7, and noble gases. So options. Option A, color gets lighter. This is wrong. The density decreases. No, density increases as well. Let me write it. Density increases. So boiling point, melting point, the density, all these going to increase if you go down the, so density increases. So B is wrong. They are all gases. Wrong, because we have gas, liquid, then at the end we have solid. They are all non-metals. Of course, this is a correct option. Question 22. Transition. Transition element. Transition element must have high melting point. Must have high melting point, and it has more than one oxidation state, such as we have Fe2 and Fe3. We have copper 1 and copper 2, and so on. So we have more than one oxidation state, and they can act as a catalyst, like iron in Haber process later on, inshallah, as well. Question 23. Noble gases. I just briefly mentioned that noble gases are monoatomics. So diatomic here is wrong. How do you know, Mr.? Check this list of the seven sisters. Noble gases are reactive. Noble means unreactive. Noble means unreactive. Noble gases have full outer electron shell. This is by definition. Then what's meant by noble gases? The elements which have full outer energy level, either 2 in case of helium or 8 in rest of atoms or elements. So C could be correct. Check D first. The noble gases are found to the left-hand side. Wrong, they are found to the right-hand side. So left here is wrong. So go back and see. Feature of all metals, hard, most of them, exception, mercury, okay, or even sodium, or even potassium, or even lithium. You can cut using knife. Low melting point, not all of them, okay? Not all of them. Some of them, like transition metals, have very high melting point. React with water. Of course, if you are lower than hydrogen, you can't react like copper, silver, and gold. So A is correct. Why they all conduct electricity? Because they have delocalized electrons. Question 25. Why we use aluminum in aircraft? Aircraft fly and go up. That means you need something to be low in density. Okay. Question 26 is a bit lengthy, so please try to pause the video and do your homework. I will give you some clues to solve the question. Firstly, element X is higher than hydrogen and copper, so X can displace hydrogen and copper. On the other hand, copper cannot displace it. So this is the first fact from the reactivity series. Fact number 2, X itself, the element X itself, X cannot displace iron or magnesium or calcium. How do you know? Because it is lower than them in the reactivity series. So cannot displace iron. Number 3, based on the formula, it forms XO, like MgO, like CaO. That means X ion is plus 2. X ion is plus 2. So this is the first piece of information we have. This is the second piece of information we have. And this is the third one. All of them will help us to work out that question. So question 1, copper reacts with ions or a solution or a compound of X to give a reaction. Is it true? I just briefly said that copper cannot displace it. So A is wrong. Okay? X can displace copper. Yep, it's correct. To get X plus oxidation state. Why? Because I said we have oxidation state of plus plus. So B is out. X can react with iron solution or iron compound. Wrong. Why? How do you know? Because X is lower than iron in the activity series. So of course it can't. So the only option is D. Check. Yep, correct. So option D here is correct. Question 27. We need a gas which can change or which can turn lime water milky. Carbon dioxide. Yep. So I need something here to release carbon dioxide by thermal decomposition, for example. So I need carbonate. Okay. So A. Question 28. We need a statement in this question from the four options to be correct statement about extraction of iron. Bismillah. We start option by option. As you can see, in some questions, I just pick the option because the question is a straightforward type. In other questions, I go and check and solve and take time because question is a bit tricky or hard. And in some questions, I have to read all options, okay? And in some questions, I skip some options because they are childish. Here we need to read all options because all of them are worthy to be read. Number 1, calcium oxide reacts with basic impurities. Stick, because calcium oxide itself is basic. You can rephrase the statement to be acidic here. So A is out. Carbon is burned to provide heat. First step, remember that temperature is 1400, and we heat carbon with oxygen to form carbon dioxide, and this is exothermic. It gives heat out and temperature is 1400. So B could be accepted. Let me check the other options. Iron trioxide, which is hematite, is reduced to iron by carbon dioxide, stick by carbon monoxide, CO. The raw material are bauxite, limestone, and coke. This is mistake, not bauxite, as I just mentioned, hematite. And the main part of hematite, of course, is iron trioxide. Okay, so go back, please, 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 please. Option B. Thank you. 29. Rust formation. We need water, we need oxygen. We don't need paint. If you have paint or grease, these form a protective layer so they prevent any kind of rusting. So here, if you have painted iron, water or air cannot go up. So level Y here or level of water here in test tube Y will not go up. So no change. Why? Because here we don't have rusting, we don't have water moving up to react with the iron. But here we don't have paint, we have a pure iron, so both air, water will go and react, so the level of water here will go up. So I need rise here. So D. Here, by default, you have to memorize that cryolite is a compound, is a material, is a substance, is a something which is used to lower the melting point of the overall mixture. Okay, so this is a recall question. It's very easy, huh? Which statement is correct? Let me read questions one by one. Atmospheric carbon dioxide is not a cause of climate change. Mistake. Is a greenhouse gas, so it can lead to global warming. Atmospheric methane is produced by respiration. Mistake, because aerobic respiration releases carbon dioxide water, anaerobic respiration releases either lactic acid in muscles or ethanol carbon dioxide in yeast. Burning gas, natural gas, decreases the level of carbon dioxide. This is mistake. It increases it. So option D by default is correct. SO2 and HCl, these gases can be neutralized, can be removed. How can we remove them? How can we remove these acidic things? By giving them or by passing them over a basic thing. Basic calcium oxide. Okay? Calcium oxide. And we have taken something called flue gas desulfurization later on, inshallah, in details. Question 33. Which equation is a photosynthesis? Recall. A recall question. Photosynthesis, we need carbon dioxide and water to give glucose and oxygen. And in this equation, glucose has no coefficient. Glucose has no coefficient, and glucose is a product, so could be C or D. Reactants are carbon dioxide and water, carbon dioxide and water. So this is wrong. Why? Here because we have 6 carbons, but here we have only 3 carbons. So option D is correct. Isomers, structural isomers. Again, question of recall type. Uh, this question is related to new service, and if you check new service, I will leave the link here below in the comments. First comment you can find, and you can visit my Facebook page to find more related topics or more related worksheets or more related quizzes that will help you. So by definition, the definition of isomer is same molecular formula but different structure, like q1 in, q2 in, 2 methyl propene, and so on. Again, inshallah, as I have just briefly mentioned, for every single topic, I will make a separate video to help you. How can we separate different components of the crude oil? Of course, we took that by method of fractional distillation. Remember that fractional distillation, we can remove different liquids from each other. Okay. Methane. Here, if you check point one or option one here we have this reaction of substitution, and here we have light. Huh? Don't forget, we need light to form this and this. And if you continue, you will form CH2Cl2. If you continue, you will form CHCl3. If you continue, you form CCl4. Okay, and every single time you substitute hydrogen with chlorine and so on. So option A is correct. Production of ethanol using two methods. The first method is fermentation by yeast. Second method is using catalyst on an alkene, which is ethene. Let me go for advantage, disadvantage of each method. Advantage of fermentation is a batch process. What is meant by batch process? A batch process is a process which must stop, then recycle or restart. Stop, then recycle or restart. Of course, this is not an advantage. A fast reaction, this is wrong. Fermentation is not fast reaction. It takes time. This is a disadvantage. Advantage here is, yep, these are infinites. The resources here are infinites. Disadvantage here, impure ethanol and patch process, both of them are accepted. So till now, C, D are accepted. Advantage here, pure ethanol is formed. This is correct. Disadvantage is a slow process or slow reaction. Mistake, the process here is very fast. Okay, so not disadvantage. Of course, being fast is an advantage. So option D is correct. So check. Advantage fermentation is infinite, renewable. Disadvantage impure, so you need fractional distillation. Correct. Here advantage is a fast reaction. Yep. And disadvantage is finite. Yep, this is correct. Why? Because you depend on ethene or alkene or ethanol. 38. Here we need to outline the monomer. To outline the monomer, go for a repeated unit. What's meant by repeated unit? Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. Okay, so could be all of them or could be half of them. No way to be 3 and 1. This is not monomer. Monomer must be identical or similar. So either all of them or half of them. Why not all of them? Because we have here a repeat unit, then we have another repeat unit. So take this one down and don't forget to add CC double bond. So carbon-carbon double bond must have carbon-carbon double bond and FClCH3. FClCH3. So B is the option. Almost done, alhamdulillah. As you can see, new syllabus, we have part 12 or topic 12 about techniques, what lab, experiments, and so on. So inshallah, in 2023 May, June exams, you will find last two questions in paper 2 related to these methods of separation or methods of calculation or equipments and apparatus and so on. Here, thiamulphthalate. Remember that thiamulphthalate is a twin of phenolphthalein. So we have two phthalanes, phenolphthalein, and we have thymolphthalein. The group phthalate or family phthalate in acidic disappear colorless. they disappear in colorless medium. Phenolphthalein in basic medium is pause the video. Pink. Mister, how can we memorize it? P, yeah? Phenolphthalein, pink. Okay? Phenolphthalein, pink, basic. Remember, please. Phenolphthalein, pink, basic. Phenolphthalein, family of phthalate are colorless and acidic. What about this one? Please, blue. Okay? And basic. So B, yeah? A good method of memorization. So we start with, firstly, we have to add the alkali or the base in a conical flask, and then you add the indicator. So we start with 3, then 2. I need 3, then 2. Esther, how did you know? This is technique, lab technique. Inshallah, later on, inshallah, I will go for 1 or 2 lectures to describe, to outline how to do any experiment or how to excel experimental techniques. Last question we have about chromatography. Here we have a locating agent, of course, to form a colored spot. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.